is a leading voice in organizational culture, futurist thinking, inclusive design, and is known for her illuminating personality and experiential learning innovations. Kristina Ashley Williams currently serves as CEO of two dynamic ventures. The first is focused on the future of work and called Unpacking, an online learning and certifications platform for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Channeling the future of play, Kristina's second venture is Baldwin & Simone's, an experiential hotel designed with travelers of color in mind. As the great niece of Jackie Robinson, her award-winning work is not only about passion, it is legacy. She has received notable recognitions from Forbes, the NAACP, Beyonce's Bay Good Foundation. That's a big deal, girl. Boys and Girls Club of America, Techstars, Verizon, TechCrunch, and more. Kristina holds an MS in Integrated Design, Business and Technology from the University of Southern California, an MA in Teaching Social Science, focused on critical race theory, also from USC, and a BA in Sociology from Arizona State University. Radical joy is her form of resistance, and when she's not busy running her businesses, she can likely be caught producing portrait and documentary exhibitions specialized in augmented reality. Please give a round of applause in welcoming Kristina Williams.
Now, 84% of turnover is said to be caused by DEI failure. We're also seeing that people are leaving their jobs without even having other jobs lined up because they're prioritizing their health over toxic work environments. We're also seeing that 70% of employees don't trust their HR departments. This means that when incidents happen, they're not reporting and they're seeking support online, which also means they're probably venting online, causing a PR disaster. Now, when we're looking towards the future, by 2030, 70% of the workforce is anticipated to be made up of Gen Z and millennials. 70%, y'all, that's less than 10 years from now. My experiences with racism and sexism at work, at school, at the grocery store definitely weighed on me, so I decided to do something about it. I applied my master's in teaching, focused in critical race studies, and my master's in integrated design, technology, and business, focused on human-centered design, to reimagine the future of work. Now, it also helps that civil rights and advancing social dynamics is in my blood because I am Jackie Robinson's great niece. We're gonna match some vocab words with definitions. This reads, a social construct that groups humans based on shared physical characteristics such as skin color and hair texture. You can answer in your head or out loud, whatever you're comfortable with. So the answer here is A, race. The key words here were physical characteristics, skin tone, hair texture. These are things that commonly lump groups of people together. However, when we start to look at ethnicity, we realize that there's a large influence that now has to take into consideration culture, right? So culture has us explore traditions and language and religion and beliefs, behaviors, etc. And so when we look at ethnicity, we may find similar characteristics across different demographics around the world. However, they may not be a part of the same ethnic group, even though they may have similar physical attributes. Does that make sense? I have an analogy around a paper cut. Think about a microaggression as small slights that happen, and they're one-off events. However, the more times you get cut, the larger that gaping wound becomes. And the emotional, psychological, and physical pain that comes from those experiences becomes compounded. I'd love for you to share with me what pops up for you. She said me for the
I've already sent some money from my company.
Absolutely. I'm not making it up. Let's try another one. Go to your web browser and type in Silicon Valley caste system. See what headlines pop up for you there. Let's look at some other things around different industries. How does racism show up in fashion? Or technology and design? Band-Aids. In function, yeah. They serve its purpose, it's covering the wound, but in form, right? Advertising, Dove. Putting ads out that say, if you wash yourself, you will transform from a magical black person to a magical white person. It's all around us. And there's a decision maker at the table that says, yes, this can be approved and this goes out. First prompt says, I can buy Band-Aids that match my skin tone. Raise your hand. Next reads, hotel bathrooms typically have products that work best on my hair texture. All right, so the impact. When we look at the health impact of inequitable experiences, it's impacting us emotionally, psychologically, physically. What we find is things like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, which a lot of times is a silent attacker. And if you belong to a community of color, Dr. Joy DeGruy writes about post-traumatic slave syndrome, where she specifically talks about the impact of the people who are descendants of slaves having higher rates of PTSD. So much so that when veterans come back from war, they're said to have less stress than living in a majority black neighborhood in several cities in the United States. So some symptoms of this: anxiety, depression, insomnia, withdrawal, aggression, loneliness, hopelessness, substance abuse, eating disorders. And then collapse. What trends will fade?
5-day work week.
5-day work week. Like that one. Okay. When we look at community-centered design, we're focusing on building for everyone, with everyone. Radical joy. Dare to create experiences that everyone can enjoy. What would a healthy experience look like within the organizational culture, within the recruitment, the onboarding, the retention process, in the product design, in the service design, etc. Accountability. When we're thinking about accountability, we need to have measurable action steps, as I believe the panel earlier alluded to ensure that the work is not only done, but it's done well. What's the consequence of the initiative we said we were putting out doesn't happen?
I like this notion of radical joy. That excites me. I'm excited about hearing that and saying it.
Yes.
I'm always touched, moved, and inspired to do the things that we do. That's what we do. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, for bringing that language to us. And then also just understanding, seeing things and viewing things from sort of an anti-racist lens.
Yeah.
Wanted to know how you go about educating companies, organizations, businesses, people, individuals about really how to understand their policies, practices, and procedures, and really understand culture and begin to infuse some of this DEI learning inside of it.
Thank you for this question. A lot of the work that I do starts with self. And so I help people gain some reflective perspective on their own lived experience before we start to step into the experiences of others. And so thinking about what was the influence of my upbringing and how does that influence my view of the world and like shape everything now is really important. I think when we're going through this process of trying to create environments for everyone, we have to know like where we personally come from as well in those situations. We have rethought what it means to do trainings within a virtual space. A lot of what you find online are these one and done videos that you complete by yourself, and they're like, hey, watch this video, now you're not a racist. Like, right? That's essentially what they're saying. And so what we know is that you can't build people skills without interacting with other people. And so having a collaborative environment to go through learning processes together where you're co-constructing meaning is super important. And so the bonding amongst teams occurs at the same time that the learning occurs.
Dope.